Hello, friends. Nicholas here. DIVO TED Talks. Hat to the side. Anyway, oh man, I am busy, busy, busy. There's a lot going on at the studio. There's a lot going on in life, and it's coming up with the excuse me, holidays, and there you can hear I'm yawning. So, that being said, there's a lot of judgment that goes into looking at our life and the way we participate in, the way we show up, and people's opinions about the way we show up and the way things go. And man, it's just exhausting at times. And in the last few days and the last few weeks and last couple of months, I've really got to this point where I'm like, F it. Like, I am who I am. I want to live my life and do the things that I want to do instead of trying to fit into some mold that equals success. Like, I got so wrapped up in if you see somebody who has a life that you want, try and emulate them. And so I started looking around to see what I wanted. And I finally realized I don't want anybody else's life. I don't want to be like anybody else. I've been like that a lot of my life, but man, the more I've tried to emulate people as of late, the less I've felt like myself and the less I've felt good in the life that I was living. And honestly, the results haven't been that great either. And so I am my best when I'm doing the things that I enjoy and the things that I like, and not berating myself or trying to corral myself into a specific set of things. If I've learned anything in the last couple of years of trying to open my own studio, brick and mortar plus business and stuff, is that there's a lot of people out there who look like they have it all together and they check a lot of boxes, and other parts of their life are completely twisted. And so one thing that I've been lacking in my life, and I may have talked about this on another episode, but I can't remember now, is truly that I need to sit down and decide what I want my life to look like. I can work around the norms and the structures that have been created. Like, I mean, in the business world, I keep getting notices in the mail. You're delinquent on this. Hey, you still have to file this. Hey, you have to do that. Hey, you have to blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just so much. And instead of fighting it, I'm like, okay, cool. I chose this life of business ownership and brick and mortar ownership, and I make those decisions. I made that decision. And so now I have certain things that I have to go along with it. But I've tried marketing in the way that other people said. I have tried doing, things that other business owners do, like masterminds and stuff like that. And then I listen to people talk and I'm like, that's your high level answer? That's your high level suggestion? I'm like, I read that in a book 5 years ago. And I realized that I have been living smaller than me because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, because the people that I was looking at had more money or had more success or whatever. And so trying to do things their way, because I thought I was just shirking life and I was just shirking responsibilities or obligations in a way that I was hindering myself. And I realized that all I've been doing is trying to fill myself into shapes that aren't me, that aren't what bring me joy and aren't what bring me happiness. And so I've spent really the last 2 months really working intensely on finding this, and I got really out of balance. Like, even in mid-October, I was way out of balance. Like a little over a month ago, so it's about 5 weeks, I was super out of balance. And I finally had a moment where I was like, yo, what are you doing? And I realized I was trying to be other people. And I was even trying to eat in ways that I read in Ayurveda would be good, but then I was taking on other people's needs. And I realized that I started eating the way that felt right for me and the things that taste good to me and sitting down and enjoying it. And my digestion is great. I have dropped 25 pounds or something like that. I mean, I was so out of balance. I put on a lot of weight. Like, I was above 260 and now I'm like mid 230s right now. And I haven't really tried. Like, I haven't been doing a significant amount of work, and I haven't been doing a significant amount of anything other than consistency. And the consistency has created that. Now, other things in my life have been flying off. I've been trying to let the emotions happen and let the emotions go. But ultimately, what I have been working the most on is little tiny pieces that I can make sure that I can make making sure that I can do non-negotiably, and then adding a little bit more to that as I could. Although in the last few days, I've been so exhausted from the studio because I've been working a lot that I've been falling asleep before I can get other stuff done, and or having to take more breaks and naps so that I can get the stuff done. And so that gave me more data, and I haven't judged myself, which is unusual. But it's not even that I judge myself. I just get frustrated. My frustration is a manifestation of judgment about what I ideally think it should be like. And I'm realizing that my ideals have been based on false premises about there being a perfect state, that there's people who actually know what they're doing out there. Like, I mean, I look at our administration, I look at these people that are getting revealed in the Epstein files and other stuff like that. And I'm like, they were projecting these personas and they weren't actually those people. Like, there's nothing to back up the things that they were saying and the things that they were showing that they were. And I mean, I'm watching these grown ass men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I'm like, they're acting like scared little boys behind the scenes, but they act like tough guys and they project tough. And I'm like, how many people out there are actually that tough? And it's not just a projection. I mean, some people act tough and back it up with some tough actions, right? You know, there's some people that I would never want to get in a fight with because they probably clock me. But I think some of the people that I've interacted with that are projected, they wouldn't want to get in a fight with me because they don't know what they're dealing with. I have some deep-seated rage that if I let it all out might be detrimental to me and or others. So that being said, you know, I'll save that for the next episode, but, it's this inability to just exist, because we live in a world that if you just sit there idly, things can and often do fall apart. But if, depending on who raised you, you're not taught about the world necessarily in reasonable ways or ways that are helpful or informative, that you can reasonably approach life educatedly. Like, I grew up in a family where we just, you know, went after it, and whatever happened, happened. And, you know, then you had to clean up the randomness that would, you know, be results of the choices that you made in those moments. And I'm not saying that that's not a way to live, but that's definitely a challenging way to go about life if you're looking to find a consistent, stable, easy to replicate system, right? I mean, I have to keep reminding myself that most people are telling me about what I could or should do so that they can sell me something that they're offering that is that thing that they're proving to me I need. And that's okay, right? Like, some people get a lot of benefit out of products and services like that. But my situation is this life, depending on how you were raised, can be this like, oh my gosh, what am I really supposed to do? And I had conditioned myself and fooled myself in it that there's an ideal that exists above and beyond the human nature that is right and just. And I realized that there is a right and just ideal that exists above, but it is in the process of people interacting, not just me controlling my environment or trying to control those around me. That's a powerful statement right there. It is a possibility in the world, but it's people truly and authentically interacting and communicating that creates the ideal, not just some arbitrary or well-conditioned ideal from the life that I lived and what I think I need that only involves me trying to control me and control my surroundings and control those around me to do what I want them to do. It's not the same as genuinely, authentically showing up and communicating to work together to create the ideal that is possible. And what I will say is that I have many, many times said that I can't work for another person. And that's true to some regards. but I cannot be constrained. I can collaborate with people that let me be me. I cannot work for people who try to diminish me at all. And it may not be their fault. They may just not understand who I am and what I bring and what my potential is. And that's also okay. Maybe they're not meant to know that about me. Maybe it's not possible for them to conceive of that. But the real beauty is that I can create a space where people can come and be their best self. And until I start cleaning out those cobwebs of myself, I'm going to attract people who are in those same places where I am trying to mold them, instead of hiring on the front end the people that already are what I need. And then I can just let them shine. So the ideal is created in collaboration, not in control. But it definitely feels like if we could just control everything, it would be all right. That's not true. But in the meantime, and on the journey to that ideal, through community and communication, be well and be free.